All right, so we all just watched F1. What'd you think?
You know, I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I felt like the main criticism of that was Brad Pitt driving around too much. And I love that. I was like, give me 2 more hours of that. Because of that, I was like, I'm going to love this movie. Mm-hmm. And I was a little disappointed with it. I'll say that. I enjoyed it. It was still good, but kind of fell a little flat for me. What about y'all?
I liked it. I had a great time, but I also just like the racing scenes.
Brad Pitt driving, still great for me.
Yeah, gold.
Awesome. Love it. But all the other stuff, I was just kind of like, I didn't get invested.
It kind of made me think of what you thought of Crashing with Pete Holmes, where you were just like, man, all the stand-up stuff was great, but cut all the bullshit relationship shit out.
Yeah, more Artie Lang.
Yeah.
Less your wife that cheated on you. Who gives a fuck about this? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your takeaway?
Are y'all ready for me to cook? Y'all ready for me to come in off the bench?
Yeah.
Lou Williams, this thing?
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. This movie is the most expensive production of an original movie in like Hollywood history. So it affects how you think about it.
It's like $300 million.
$300 million. And it's actually a big movie for Hollywood. So I agree with Nick and you. It's flat and it kind of rips. You know, like the racing scenes are incredible. The sound mixing is amazing. You really feel like you're there. But the story seems like it was written by AI. None of these characters are real people. Like, I'll give you a for instance about just a little thing that I think is stupid. Brad Pitt ruins his back, right?
Yeah.
Right? But when he comes back, he's still carrying all that stupid shit, you know? It's like it makes nothing is like real or like...
Brad Pitt, why are you running on the street?
Just,
you should be running on dirt. You should be running on sand,
Get
bro.
you a Peloton, man. It's easier on your joints.
And I like it because I'm like, it's original and they spent a lot of money. But you know what I would say the movie's like? Remember when he looks at the car the first time and they call it the shitbox?
Yeah.
And then they take all the wind and stuff and they upgrade it?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we watched the shitbox, and they could add a few components to make it actually run on the track.
Mm-hmm. That's a good comparison because they definitely could have edited out like 20 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
And it felt like Ford versus Ferrari, but not as good in that moment.
Well, the difference is Ford versus Ferrari has Christian Bale and Matt Damon. And this brings me to a bigger point. Can Brad Pitt hold a movie by himself? Because I tend to think when I started watching the movie, I was like, by himself, he's not that interesting. You brought up Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Leo's doing that, and Brad Pitt is a pinch hitter, and he's coming out to just knock it out of the park and sit back. The only movie I can think of, and audience, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, the only movie I think Brad Pitt has ever held by himself is Moneyball. And even in Moneyball, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, it's Jonah Hill. Robin Wright plays his ex-wife. Like, there's tons of great actors. It's a script by Aaron Sorkin, which when you watch a movie written by Aaron Sorkin, it's almost like its own character. The guy who directed, I forgot his name, your audience is going to know, but the dude who directed Capote. So it's like, even there's not a ton of stars in Moneyball, but the director and the writer are stars in their own right. Mm-hmm. In the way that, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is Brad Pitt, Leo, and Tarantino. Or even a movie like Seven, where you think of Brad Pitt as the main character. It's Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey, rest in power, King, and
Fight Club. You know,
Fincher.
Norton.
Fincher. Yeah. Fight Club is Norton. What's her name? Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
And Fincher. I just think of him as a character actor, and I think it's just weird because he looks good. It's just
they've always said that he's a leading man looks in a character actor body.
He is.
Something like that.
And I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Like, I think the movie doesn't work because the dude from Snowfall is not a big enough star and not good enough. Instead of...
Don't talk about my Franklin like that, dude.
I love Franklin. Also, he's British? Ugh, gay.
I was not prepared for him to be British.
Yeah. And he lives with his mom. Come on.
Who's the lady from Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
And the uncle or his
the
manager
therapist from Ted Lasso, the worst character in Ted Lasso.
It bugged me how annoying his brother, whoever, his agent that's his cousin.
His cousin, yeah.
Whatever. I hate that guy. Like, he's such an annoying character.
I hate that guy in real life. We've all met that guy.
Yeah, he was just so annoying.
But I will say this, for a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, it doesn't feel like it. Say what you will about the story and everything.
No,
it does
no.
not feel long.
Runtime 2 hours 27 minutes.
Oh, is it? I thought it was.
I
He
timed it.
Oh, you did. Was that including end credits?
No.
It was like
2:20. Okay.
movie.
How much
like,
until we left?
yeah. Game on, game over.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what the movie. It is a video game.
Yeah.
It's just like Gran Turismo. I was like, oh, we're going from race to race. And the point system's so convoluted. And like, what are they actually? They're trying to win one race. We can say a lot of negatives. I respect the fact that I wasn't looking at my watch every 10 minutes to be like, how much?
The only part I looked at my phone was about halfway through the movie. They're in the middle of this. It was that messy race. It was like stormy weather. I was like, oh, this is probably the part where someone's going to get in like a tragic accident.
Yeah, it's happening.
But okay, I guess we're about to get into spoilers. Before we go any further, what would you rate it, like 1 to 10?
6.3.
Okay, 6.3.
Yeah,
Nick?
it's not bad.
7.2. Nah, 7.
Okay.
7.5. Somewhere there. I
didn't know how y'all did y'all's ratings.
No.
You don't have to hurt my feelings.
Sorry.
We don't do
specific.
but no.
No, but I had such a good time. It was so much fun.
It was fun, but for me, I still would put it a 6. There was more good moments and bad moments, but it just overall, I think if you watch this movie not on the big screen, I think those problems are going to be way more glaring too. I think you're going to go, oh god, this is.
If you watch it at home, it's not going to be.
I also laughed several times at just stupid things.
Exactly, like the scene where they're like, oh yeah, we got the wrong car out there, but the right driver.
Yeah.
Like that sums it up pretty much.
Well, and you could tell they didn't have a villain, and somebody wrote 2/3 of the script and was like, oh, we're not going to spoilers. I'm sorry. We'll wait.
We're in spoilers.
We are
there. We're there.
Yeah, you can tell because there's no villain, and you're like, who cares if they win the races? Who cares if they keep it? And then they throw the billionaire dude in there who's like, I'm taking this over. And now, like, the whole movie turns into we need to save Ruben's job. Who gives a shit about that? How stupid is it? Ruben is an auxiliary character who just wears nice suits. Now the entire movie hinges upon this motherfucker keeping his job. Who cares?
To me, the worst part of the movie was at the end when they win and him and Brad Pitt are celebrating. They're like, we are the best.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I was watching two of the most handsome actors in the world just gloating it to me. Like, I hated it.
Reed, I'm curious if you thought of this, but when the first race starts, his car, he's like not driving.
Mm-hmm.
All I could think of was the pod racing scene in Star
for sure.
Wars.
No, that's how I know I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no basis to compare this to other than Star Wars.
I guarantee this director was like, it's like the pod racing scene in Star Wars.
Well,
you
dude,
guarantee there was in a boardroom and he was like, it's like the pod racing scene in Star Wars.
Top Gun 2 has like the trench run,
Yeah.
like Star Wars too.
But even they had the announcers, which is the two guys, and I didn't know F1 had the like loud and over the speaker. And all I kept hearing every time they would say something is, it's Skywalker!
Anakin Skywalker.
And it was the Schuyler brothers in that role, and I was just cracking up.
No,
like,
I almost looked over at you.
See.
I almost looked over at you and was like, this is pod racing.
And then you had fat Colin Farrell talking to him the whole time.
Yeah.
That was owning me. I could not see anyone other than fat Colin Farrell talking to Franklin or whatever the guy's name
The
is.
penguin.
Yeah, dude. He is so fat Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
It cracked me up. Those are my two favorite
The
parts.
movie is just so paint by numbers. It's just so like, we need the rivalry, we need the love story, it's just so like, Did anybody, other than the fact that they got to wear cool clothes and sort of take it easy, make a lot of money and roll around the world, like, was anybody at the end of this like, man, I'm really excited about this movie I made?
I mean, probably Franklin.
Franklin was
dude, this is a big deal.
He goes, they didn't have enough money to give it to Michael B. Jordan. I'm so pumped. He was making Sinners.
He was already doing Sinners.
Yeah. That's, you know what? That's a very interesting thing. Two big tentpole movies that cost a lot of money, that are original IP, F1 and Sinners. One is trying to be different, and you can tell the director really cares about it. I don't think Sinners works the entire way. and then F1 is just like a big commercial for other shit.
Yeah.
And I respect the business side of F1 because you could tell it's just corporate branding in the whole thing. So they were like, this movie's costing a ton. We're going to subsidize all this.
Even in the first scene, he throws that hat. He's like on the way to to Daytona, and he throws that hat in a pile of hats, and it's like Shell, BMW.
Yeah,
It's like even that where they're like making fun. He's like, I'm not a corporate guy. It's like, look at all these corporate
it's like this thing is going. And it's just, those two movies are interesting because it's like one is sort of become a cultural phenomenon, and one is, I don't think Sinners works all the way, but you watch it and you're like, yeah. And then I watched F1 and I'm just like, damn, nobody really tried.
I think with Sinners, you at least, it's like this guy went for it.
Yeah.
You know? And then with this movie, it's like this is a corporate product.
The weekend Sinners came out, I was getting texts from all sorts of people that are like, have you seen Sinners? There were a lot of people in my F1 screening, you know, but nobody's been like, dog, other than y'all, like, let's go see F1 and talk about F1. Nobody is being like, yo, F1, bro. That is the one.
My mom didn't even, she was like, let me guess what movie you are going to see. We're like, all right. She's like, G4. And I was like, this isn't bingo. Close, but F1.
Yeah.
I don't know much about F1, but one of my biggest issues with the movie was like all the strategy and stuff just felt like Brad Pitt being like a swarmy little cheapskate. And like everyone was just praising him.
Yeah, he was
for, like,
Draymond Green.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to say, like, I just watched like NBA playoffs, and it
just ruined the movie for me. I hate Draymond Green.
Exactly, he's a Draymond Green. He's a fucking Alex Caruso. Fuck that guy. He's a Grayson Allen.
I was literally.
I changed my
who it is NBA character.
Oh,
I was leading you there.
Yeah, dog.
He's just driving around like an asshole, and the movie just is like he's like acting like a baby. And he's just right about everything. You know, like the tires. He's like, I want my tires or I don't drive. And it was just like the same thing. So all these just made me think of all the transport portal and all that. Yeah. Like, they got too much power nowadays.
Yeah.
Is Brad Pitt, though, getting typecast as a guy that got away with murder?
In this movie, he certainly lives like a guy who got away with murder.
What'd you think of the ending?
Oh, they're trying to set up for a sequel if this one pops off.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to create a tentpole franchise.
I saw like a movie or an interview with him where he was like, do you hope there's a sequel? He's like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to go do races with Hamas at the end of the movie. But I guess that's poignant in these times we live in, fellas.
I felt nothing from it.
So
I just went, that's the ending.
Yeah.
It made money. It worked. Everybody gets
fun. I mean, I know I gave it a low review, but I still would say go see it in theaters.
Go see it in theaters.
Yeah. The race scenes are incredible.
Yeah,
like,
the race scenes are amazing.
They're so well done too.
Yeah, I love how he's like, I pack it in early on race night, and then he's banging the 7 and the. It's just like, man, this movie is.
Yeah,
it's hard to make things. I know by making things.
Yeah,
it's hard to make things, but it's also like y'all had $300 million. Like, could y'all not have done anything interesting?
When he's on the balcony and he's like, there's that moment when everything just goes quiet and you're just gliding. And I literally wrote a note that was like, to show Reed, it was like $100 says at the end of the movie, everything goes quiet in the pivotal scene.
That was my favorite part of the movie, though, probably. Just that quick through this. Like, it felt like you actually feel like you're
when
driving.
The sound dropped during the...
He's flying.
But during the actual injury, where it almost looks like he gets ejected from the car, but the car goes flying.
Yeah, I thought he did for a second.
I did too. I was kind of like, "Whoa, shit!"
Jeez, he's so dead.
It was actually, to me, the most interesting part of the movie. I was like, they killed this motherfucker.
I know.
Whoa!
He was gone.
I did feel incredibly dumb watching it though, because like I'd be watching a race scene just like a little kid, and then like they get off the track and Brad Pitt, like, you're driving like an asshole. I'm like, was he? I had no idea.
Like, it's also your entire strategy is to drive like an asshole. Like, what are you talking about, dog?
Yeah, and when the wrecks happened, I had no idea who to blame. You know, I don't know. I just wasn't clear on that. I was just kind of like, it could be Brad Pitt's fault. It could be the other guy.
Like Draymond Green, anything bad that happened during the races, I was like, Brad Pitt's on some fuck shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. I can't believe Hans Zimmer did the score, and it's the worst score he's ever done.
So unmemorable.
It's like the movie. It's good to see in IMAX. I'm happy they made an original that wasn't a superhero movie. And it sounds good. And the racing scenes look good.
Well, you heard it here first, guys. Sounds good.
What a middle of the line thing. What a real. I don't want to completely take a dump because it's like, I'm sure
hilarious. Take a dump.
Nick was like, this is good. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. At the end of the movie, I was like, damn, I do hope Brad Pitt wins. You know, like, it's not like it all didn't work.
No, it worked. Enough worked more than it did. Like I said, I was ping-ponging. Like, there'd be scenes where I'd just be like, man, I hate this, I think. And then there'd be scenes where I'm like, this movie rocks. Like, this is so great.
That's the movie. That's why it's so middle of the line, because I felt the same way. You're like, this movie's awesome. Oh, God, this is such a hunk of shit. And it was like bipolar. It was like, this thing is not going.
Combat. I was just like, what is this, gay Hoosiers? I hate this.
Well, go watch it if you want a mixed bag of
Check out
emotions.
Fat Colin Farrell in the new F1 movie.